Now, these two different shots here are done with two different speeds of hand movement going through the golf ball. One with fast hands, one with slow hands. Now, out of these two, which one do you reckon is the longest and straightest shot? A lot of you out there will say the fast hands, but it's actually the slow hands is the longest and straightest. And as you can see here through this flurry of shots, far more consistent of a shot to hit in length and accuracy is the slow hands compared to this. All these group in a row were with the fast hands. So let's explain why that's the case, as it goes against what a lot of you out there might have been told. Now, to explain it, let me hit a bunch of shots here with both, and we'll talk about it as we go. So let's start off with the fast hands here. So a lot of golfers out there try to generate speed by quickly firing their hands through the golf ball, usually with the right hand, to create that whip going through the golf ball. Now, of course, it makes sense if you had, let's say, an alignment stick and you were swinging it as fast as you can, you feel like you can create a big whip by really turning over those hands. Absolutely. Fast hands can generate a decent amount of club head speed, but it also loses a ton of control. So let me hit a number of shots here with fast hands. I'm really trying to whip them over going through the golf ball. Get a nice turn, fast hands. So we're going to see distance-wise is really not going to be ultimately too bad. I'm hitting 8-iron here. My normal 8-iron distance would be roughly around 150 yards. So we're going to see distance-wise isn't going to be overly too shabby, but we're going to notice that was a good one there. That on average, so we're going to hit 5 balls here for a little average, the shot type is going to be quite erratic. So really trying to turn those hands over fast, that was one that I'd always expect to see. Decent distance from closing over that club face, absolutely. But if I go again, let's go for that 4th one. So really trying to get those hands turning over hard. 154, good distance there. But just look at that shot. Way left most of the time. Now again, another one. Oh, that one really turned that over. 160, long shot, but it's just not on the face of the earth. Now, why that is because of the rate of closure of club faces, why that's inaccurate. So, when I am turning over my hands fast, I get a lot of club face rotation. So for me, with what we call a square club face now in golf instruction, which is matching your spine angle at shaft parallel, that would generally require less hand movement going through the golf ball to be able to make that work. Now, if I can immediately change my club face position at setup to more of a traditional toe up, which used to be square, but now we know that's not matching the spine angle, I will start hitting the ball a little bit straighter. But we're going to notice distance might be lost pretty much immediately. So it requires a ton of timing going through the shot, which is why a lot of you will experience playing well one day and not the other, or hitting a great shot on one drive, then the second shot you've missed all over the place. So again, now I'm having more of a toe up type of position here, so I can give myself time to release that golf club, and that's the way to functionally make this work. But you lose more distance and then you lose your accuracy along with it, but you'll hit it a little bit straighter than the other way. So here we go. So that one was a really good reason why I don't teach people to do this move with the fast hand movement and matching it up with a traditional toe up club face, because I fatted that, I chunked it. Why I chunked it is because my body had to slow down to be able to square up this club face. Now, if my body has to slow down to square up the club face, I am actually losing what my body can do. Now let's hit a few other shots with the more slower hands to explain why I want the body to move more. So okay, now I'm going to hit 5 shots here with having passive hands. Now we're going to explain why this is the more consistent route to go with your shot type and distance together in a bundle over the lots of hand movement. So through these shots, I'm not trying to feel anything with my hands at all, nothing. So no active release, no active movement with them. And we're going to explain what the body's doing to produce these straighter, more consistent shots with distance and accuracy. So you can see here my little draw there, not too bad. Again, we're looking at the consistency of the grouping of shots. We're going to do the same thing, 5 shots. We go over another one. So again, doing nothing with my hands, going through that golf ball. And we're going to see with my irons, as I normally draw my irons just a little bit, we're going to see that draw probably just to the left of that line on most of these shots. So let's hit some more. Oh, that was a long one. 168 yards. I think that might have been a bit of a misread, to be honest. So here we go, a couple more. So really what you can see here already, the grouping is way more close to line. Nothing I'm doing with my hands here. So again, here's another one. Again, I don't think I hit that one the best. But again, it's a consistent shot pattern. It's just a little bit left of the line. There's no big misses out there. If that ball's going to miss more left, that'll be more me rather than the actual technique. Especially with that one. Hit that a bit toey, so that's going to go a little bit more offline. Especially with my microphone flying off there. Luckily the wind's calmed down. And honestly, I can't remember how many balls I've just hit. You might be saying to the screen, you've already hit 5. I've completely forgotten how many balls this is. So I'm just going to hit one more for good measure. It's all good for the experiment also. And there we go. Okay. So, as we can see going through those shots, a lot tighter of a dispersion there. I was having less of an effort in intensity of what I'm trying to do. I was just trying to make those hands nice and passive and use my rotation nicely. So that dives into why are those shots better is because I'm using the 3 forces that I put into the ground more efficiently because my body doesn't have to slow down to make this work. Now, when we have to slow down the body, for any reason, you're going to lose club head speed. You're going to lose control over that golf club. So yes, you may be able to mask it a little bit with a quick hand rotation, but the amount of time that that club face is actually square to do that is not much at all. It's very hard to rotate the body and release the club at the same time. If you do so, you'll most likely hit the ball consistently out towards the left. It's going to be too hard to time. Whenever we see a big release pattern going through the golf ball, we'd often see the players' body movement completely stall out in their rotation. We might see a vertical jump up through the golf ball, which a lot of players can create some speed doing that. It's the biggest speed producer in the golf swing is that vertical force. Those will be players that could still absolutely crunch the ball with the release. But as we can see, you can hit the ball far doing the release. It's just not very accurate. So why the other one is fast and accurate? Like I alluded to, the 3 forces we put into the ground, my body can use them more efficiently because I don't have to time anything up. So if my club face is square to the arc throughout my golf swing, that makes me enable to, 1, laterally move. So have a little bit of a lateral movement. That's one of the ground forces, is lateral movement. Rotation, of course, if that club face is square to the arc and I've got other good variables in there, I can use my rotational torque. It's another thing we're interacting with the ground with, which is a speed producer. They both produce speed. Like I said, the biggest speed producer is your vertical force, where with your vertical movement, as we often see with players, we have that little squat, that lowering down style of transition, and we'll have an extension going through the golf ball, usually of that lead side straightening up. With someone like Rory, you might see both legs straighten up going through the golf ball, but that's the power coming back out the ground again. And it also helps you turn more going through the golf shot. So absolutely, those 3 married together in a good, decent way is going to generate a decent amount of club head speed. And that's what all the players look for. They'll look and see what one is lacking for them, and then they'll try and up that one. Like for me, I lack in the lateral one. I need to get more lateral movement into my golf swing, more lateral force, which will up my club head speed. So you can see there's a lot more to the equation of it than just the flip of the hands. Can it get you hitting the ball further? Yes, it can. But if I keep my hands and arms nice and passive going through that golf ball, and I've got other good things, club face good shallowing move, good depth, then I can just use my body instinctively to be able to get through that golf ball and still generate some good accuracy, which is the most important thing here, and speed. So okay, this drill to get the passive hand is going to incorporate the 3 body movements we need to be able to have a result in good distance. So, and this is the body movements you do in the downswing regardless. Of course, as we know, some of you are going to be doing more than others, and that is the lateral force, the rotational, and the vertical. So how we do this is with one of my favorite drills. It tells you how in depth this drill actually goes when you really dive into it, and that's the preset rotation drill. So we get ourselves into what we would like to have as an ideal impact position. So that would be open rotated hips. So rotate the hips as much as you can comfortably do. Rotate the upper body as much as you can. It would always be a little bit less in the hips. Weight 90% on the left side. And this is the big thing. We want the right shoulder being down towards the right hip there. So that's what we start off with, and then we swing and hit through the shot. So of course the weight 90% on that left side, that's the lateral portion. straightish left leg with the right shoulder down towards the right hip. That is the vertical portion, and the rotation of both hips and chest, of course, is the rotational talking part. So then we just swing up and swing through. Now, doing this, because you're going to be swinging a little bit shorter, you won't be able to generate some brilliant speed doing it, but it teaches you, and of course, you have passive hands. It teaches that passive hands. There we go, nice and straight away. Not too bad though. Like I said, this is actually a very, very efficient way to swing a golf club, is setting up in this way. Open hips, weight 90% on the left side, open chest, right shoulder down towards the right hip. Let's hit another one. You're going to see they're going to be really straight shots. You can see, again, they don't go massively long doing it, but you can see how straight and how much those passive hands really affect it. So when it comes to good distance, this is one thing I'm not doing, guys. I'm not holding the hands off. Like I said, I'm doing nothing with the hands. I'm not physically holding it off. I get that all the time in the comments saying you're going to be slower if you're holding the club off. Yes, you are. It's not what passive release is. You're moving your body in a nice way, turning through the shot, nice extension, nice lateral movement, that creates it. So there we go, another one. It's just crazy. That was not too bad, was it? I'm happy with that. So it's just crazy though how straight this ball goes. I mean, I'm saying straight. Of course, they're drawing. It's my normal flight with an iron, fade with a driver. But we see here, they're going to target pretty nicely. They're going to target more often than they are, because even though I do the passive hands, I don't do it perfectly every time. No one does. Not even the best players in the world do it perfectly every time. So here we go, another one. That feels like I might be a little bit right there. Now, of course, it's just going straight onto the line. It's ridiculous. I mean, I know I talk about this a lot, this drill, but I think this is a good way for you guys to see what I'm talking about, why I talk about this drill so often, because look at it, straight. Crazy. They don't even, not all of them felt great off the face. Felt a little bit mishit, some of them. It's cold UK day. I'm looking forward to the summer finally turning up at some point. There we go. I actually went on that one, a little bit hard of a turn for it. 5 balls. You'll be hard pressed to find 5 shots that are closer to a line than that unless you land them on the line. So you can imagine a good amount of practice with that, and then you can build it into your swing. If I grab a ball in the swamp, that is my net at the moment. Like I said, this weather in the UK at the moment is just, the winter is not going at all. Hopefully by the next time you see a video, I'll not be in a beanie and a really thick jumper. So there we go. I could be doing a bunch of those drills, do maybe a little Matthew Wolf feel beforehand, and have a little go, passive hands. As we can see here, resulted in a pretty good shot. I'm very happy with that. So, actually, this drill personally, I'm doing with my driver at the moment. I'm doing a lot of it there. I will have too much vertical movement. I do a little bit more of a Rory move, just to a little bit too much of an extent. I have that right leg straightened up a little bit too early. I'm trying to calm that down for better club face control. So that's where I'm doing that drill a ton with driver, because it keeps that right leg flexed a little bit longer whilst everything turns, extends through and moves how I want to. So it's a great drill throughout the bag. It's brilliant to go do. So absolutely, if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, click that subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.